It feels like this is the beginning of them dating. We'll see if it leads to marriage, but so far, we think that this is pretty early to speculate. Clearly, Snap's under a lot of pressure. Instagram is taking time away among millennials and the older generation. So we think this is ultimately a bigger picture game that Facebook is taking share. And so Snap needs any type of partnership they can get. For Amazon, they pick up a millennial audience, a younger audience that they want access to, that has a lot of detail and a lot of impact on brands. So we think that this definitely makes sense. But if any of you have used an Amazon search bar, you know how easy it is to find something on your mobile device searching for whatever you want on Amazon. So I don't think this is going to change the game for Amazon. It's a nice to have. It's not a must have.
So a nice to have for Amazon, but what about on the Snap side? I would imagine if people are taking shots and images of different things, and in the middle they could see that if they happen to like tip my tie today, for example, that all of a sudden they could buy it right off Amazon. That would be a pretty cool feature.
Again, we think it's a great feature. We don't think it's a game changer. Again, I think that this is one of many things that Snap needs to do to get back on track. And clearly, the user base has been disengaged. You can see it in the numbers. So they've got a lot of work to do. It's a nice step, but again, I wouldn't call this a game changer.
What was your reaction when you saw the headline late last night that the two founders of Instagram, largely who had been responsible both for the success of Instagram, but in particular its ability to compete meaningfully and take share from Snap over the past year and a half, really by, dare I say, copying some of their features?
It's a blow, there's no question. But in technology over the last 20 years, it's really hard to name a founding member that was acquired that's still at the parent company. Covering software for 20 years, every company we watched, the CEOs would stay for a year or two and then they'd disappear and go start their own thing. So, no question a big blow, and I think there's a lot of questions around what led to that departure. Were there fights with Zuckerberg over the direction of Instagram? But I think ultimately, you look at the history of tech, and you really can't find these founders. Right. It's a very low hit rate of staying
What's
for
the
multiple
risk
years.
that they go out and build a Instagram Snap killer, meaning that they actually compete with their old product?
That Facebook does something?
No, that the two founders, Kevin and Mark, who say that one of the reasons they want to leave the company is to go start something new. The question, of course, is the thing they want to start that's new in the exact same space that they were just in, an improved version, if you will, or do you think that they go off and start something completely different?
I think they would go a completely different direction. Right. I think they've had so much success. Instagram is definitely the powering engine of Facebook going forward. So I think they'll steer clear of that. Again, it's just happened. It's unclear. But our sense is they would not want to go after that market. They'd go somewhere else.
And finally, when you stack these social media stocks up against each other, where do you put your money?
Amazon, we took the price target to $23.50. We highlighted this morning that we think the stock in 2 years can go to $3,000. It's the sum of the parts on their 6 big core businesses, and we didn't really apply a big multiple on the cloud business. We left a lot of wiggle room, we think, and we still 2 years out can get to $3,000 a share. It sounds crazy, a big number, but when you back into it, it's really not when we look at the multiples and laid it out in a 45-page deep dive this morning. So we still like Amazon. Google, we think, is cheap. Facebook short-term has, some issues that they've got to work through, and I think it's probably in the short term, going to be a sideliner for many people, but it's probably going to be 2019 before investors really get excited to come back to Facebook.
And come back to where we started. What about Snap? You buy or sell?
It's we have a hold rating. We have an $11 price target. We're not that excited by where the business is going. They did bring on a new CFO that it came from Amazon. They brought in a number of new key execs around the finance group that we think will be supportive of the story. But we still think there's better stories that we have more conviction in that I just mentioned.
And finally, where do you land on Twitter? It's a topic we haven't discussed recently.
They're doing a great job. I mean, I think, we have not recommended Twitter during the recent run-up or the recent rundown. We haven't had a sell on it, but I think that they've done a great job. The key to Twitter now is the U.S. recovery. They really have been undergrowing the market, and we think in the back half of the year they have really easy comps in the U.S. So we think that the acceleration can continue for Twitter in the back half of the year. Seems like Jack's very engaged there. Square's doing obviously very well, so some speculation. Maybe you spend a little more time fixing Twitter because Square's running really well. So we're not ruling them out.